extra. Don't let none stress y'all. No. Running through the mission. Make your hater pay rendition. 100 times, so I know. Sucker go. Michael Phelps, through the smoke, through the quicksand.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of the 100X podcast. I'm Felix.
This is Gusto. Nice to meet you.
And I'm Denise Gonzalez.
And we're going to cover this guy's story today.
So, Francisco Gusto was drafted in 2018 by the Cardinals, fresh out of Monroe College. So, can you tell us where you were when it happened? How'd you get the call? When you found out the news that you were?
I was actually playing Fortnite when that goal happened. You know, like I was impatient because the draft was 3 days, and I knew I was like I didn't know, but I had an idea that I was going to get drafted the third day. So, as soon as I woke up, probably woke up like a 7 that day, just nervous, impatient.
Couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
I've been there.
And so yeah, that day I gave my phone to my brother. Like, hey, you hold the phone. Like, I don't want nowhere. I don't want it. And so yeah, I got a call.
Playing Fortnite.
Talk
Talk about the steps that you took before getting drafted. You said that you kind of knew that you were getting drafted, but what did you do to prepare yourself for that night? Yeah, like what did you do like in school? Like, would you wake up at 5 a.m. to get ready? What would you eat? Would you eat healthy, or would you just stick to the normal routine?
So basically in school we had the schedule was crazy. Like I used to wake up, I was a commuter. Mm-hmm. I used to wake up at 6 a.m. every single day. Take the train, hour to get here, 8:45, take 3 classes, After I took my 3 classes, but I always trying to eat right,
Right.
I think that's what kept me healthy, throughout that process. After that, after lifting, I went back home, took a little nap, to come back at 8 p.m.
Yeah, I know.
Regular New York stuff.
Well, I don't know about you, but when I was in Monroe, we used to have 5 a.m. workouts. So I used to dorm. I was not commuting. We had the 5 a.m. workouts, which would be like the conditioning, all that stuff. Then we would have like the team breakfast. We'll go to classes, and then we would have team lifting from 1 to 2. Then I was utility, so I was playing infield and outfield. So then I had infield from 2 to 3, outfield from 3 to 4. Then I had a break till like 8-ish. And then we had team practice from 9 to like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Which, did you go through the same thing?
Yeah, it was crazy because actually the coach, he had to take me every,
Manny?
Yeah, Manny, he used to take me back to my house. I used to get there like 2:30.
Oh my God.
Tired to wake up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And do it 5 days a week.
As a pitcher, I was just discussing this earlier with Felix. As a pitcher, you're running the game. Mm-hmm. The mentality that you have, what role did your parents play with that? Like, did they motivate you every day to wake up to, continue? Even if you went home to take naps, did they push you to get out of bed and be like, you gotta do this for yourself? Vamos, tú adelante. So
they always told me that you gotta have responsibility. Like, if you wanna do something, you gotta do it right. And I feel they motivated me a lot because I knew what they were going through. Like my brother, he's also a big part of my journey, in baseball. I saw him doing papers day after day, every single day after day he was writing the paper. So seeing that also motivated me, to do better, and all that stuff. And my parents, it was great.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know this, but you didn't play your senior year in high school, did you? What happened senior year?
Tell us what you did there, because that really tells a lot about your character and how humble you are. So it's important for the viewers to know, for you to say your story.
So senior year of high school, unfortunately, I only played into my junior year because my dad, he had an accident in the snow and at work, so he broke his ankle, completely broke it. And
so from a guy who ends up going to college and ends up getting drafted in the 12th round, you didn't play your senior year of high school.
No, I didn't.
And, a lot of people watching this right now, that's a big question mark because senior year in high school is very important. So what happened senior year in high school?
So, fortunately, with my senior year, you guys know, because my dad, he had an accident at his job, and he broke his ankle, like really broke.
Oh man.
So me and my older brother, we had, we're the big boy pants, and basically provide, for the family, provide for us, and so yeah, I didn't play my senior year actually because of that.
No, that shows a lot. That shows a lot how you had that situation, how you took that on, and you still decided, you know what, this happened. It's a little speed bump,
Right.
in the road, but I'm gonna continue on this path, and you ended up going to college.
And you took a year off, like he said before. Senior year is basically one of your most important years, especially as an athlete. Not to mention junior year. So that means during your junior year, what did you do to stay healthy? I'm pretty sure you put on a show.
Oh yeah.
So talk about what you did in high school. Like, how did people start noticing the kind of player that you were? Well, sorry, not where you still are.
Aggressive.
It's a good word. I would add aggressive and humble because coming from what you just said, helping out your family, not a lot of people could do that. Not a lot of people could, especially athletes, that's what we know our entire life is how to play that specific sport that we pick. That's what we know. So for you to step away from that and help your family, that says a lot about your character and says how humble you are. And it says a lot about how you were raised, how your parents had a big role in it because they taught you that to always persevere and always basically fight for what you want. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
They're used to going to go do something else, right? Which is basically like a sacrifice. I feel like when you go back to that initial thing you were following, like baseball,
It was hard.
but I feel like you had that chip on your shoulder, you know what I mean? So like every time you took a baseball and you were pitching, like you was like, yo, I got something to prove. Did you feel it? I mean, is it?
It is.
You know what we should also talk about? You being in DR, seeing the other players. What did they ask you? Because you're from New York. I'm pretty sure they're curious about how the baseball system works out here, and they know that a lot of players from over here go over there to make it. That they ask any questions like, "Loco, how is it in the United States?" And talk about how the life, how was it living out there? What do you see other players doing that's different from here?
Working hard every single day.
Over here, la peluca.
They work hard every single day. They work hard every single day. They go in the morning. They're excited to put the spikes on. They whatever jerseys on.
Right.
They're out there practicing. Every day. Every single day. And they don't complain. They don't say I'm hot. They don't say I need water. They just go out there and compete. And
They only want one thing, is to make it. That's everybody.
Yeah.
Is it true, I have a question, is it true that each player that's in the Dominican Republic and the training facilities, they all have a specific trainer, and that trainer basically is their agent?
I didn't go to DR to get signed or anything. I just went out there because I knew that I needed to get better. Because I took a whole year off. I didn't go over there with the mindset, I need to get signed over here. This is my only opportunity. I feel like that could come next. I was patient. I went over there. I knew that I had a lot to work on, and I just went over there. It was definitely a learning experience because I was living with my trainer. Actually, I was living with my trainer for 6 months, and definitely the conditions that I have here and over there, they were not the same.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I actually played ball out there for a year as well. So after, me and Pierre went to school together. And then after that first year, I decided to go down to the Dominican Republic as well. And I was out there for a year. And I feel you, bro. Those guys out there, they're there to work. There's no complaining. There's no, like you said, the sun, there's too much sun, it's too hot. And I'm an instructor now, and I work with certain kids, and I hear the things they say, and I just tell them, I'm like, listen, guys, you don't know how lucky you are to be in a facility, to have a nice field and all that. So it's definitely a learning experience, like you said. It was probably, personally, it was one of the biggest stepping stools for me personally, and how I developed as a baseball player and also as a person. Yeah, for sure. It definitely humbles you. And, you know, we were out there for different reasons. I was actually trying to get signed when I was out there. You were out there just trying to get better. So, in regards to your question, you know, yeah, most guys that are out there trying to get signed, they do have a trainer who's their agent, who basically, like he lived with his trainer, I lived with my trainer as well. So when you do sign, if you do sign, you give that percentage, whatever percentage it is, on your contract. But it's definitely a good experience.
Right. So one thing that I wanted to say, you know, being a girl, we don't have those, you know, we don't have those opportunities where we can go to. Well, we do go to different countries, and you know, we travel abroad and we have different trainings. But in New York City, being a softball player is harder because there's not a lot of softball, you know, coaches. And if they are, they're coaches that played in the D1 that know their stuff, but are limited, you know, to what you can learn from women who play for Oklahoma, for Alabama, for Texas, who are the top schools like Florida. But going back to you, when you said that you went to, you know, the Dominican Republic to work on yourself, what specifically did you work on, like, about your game? Was it your curveball?
Yeah, the curveball's pretty good.
Don't worry, because after this, I'm going to hit his curveball. So. But to answer the question. Okay, we're going to find out. Softball player.
I've seen this guy throw, I don't know.
I went down there, you know, trying to get better every single aspect of my game, you know. I actually lost, I think it was like 30 pounds.
Yeah. Well,
when I was down there.
Does that include your mentality also? Because one thing that I love about, you know, the players in my country is that they're still traditional. When you go to other states and other countries, they how do I put it? They focus more on technology. Like they use technology with baseball. In DR, no, you in the dirt. And some players they play without cleats. They play without shoes.
Yeah.
Like you're literally you're playing the most traditional way you can possibly think of. And I'm saying tradition to me because I guess I'm from that country.
Yeah, it honestly makes me better.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think.
Like they play still like, you know, like still like the classic baseball.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, everyone plays baseball.
Yeah.
Everyone plays baseball.
Everybody.
And it's not even in the sense of like, because I feel like people over here in the States or in other countries, you know, they play more for competition.
Right.
Over there, just play for fun.
And
also, they can play all year round too.
Yeah, all year round. They just play for
they
fun.
wake up and they play baseball. It's insane.
Sure.
But also, like in the Dominican Republic, why are we talking about the Dominican Republic so much?
It's all right. We got time. But it's true.
Right, it's Dominican Independence Day. No, but what I was going to say is that there's not a lot of stuff that you could do there, and which sucks because of the type of country it is. Is either you become a baseball player, a rapper, or you know, like work in the government. And it's so hard because working in the government, you basically have to be raised in it or have a father or a grandfather who's in the army, or tener una finca, which is to have land and to have money. And it's really, you don't have a lot of resources out there. So a lot of players, that's what their life relies on.
So you go to the Dominican Republic for a year. How do you end up at Monroe College?
Oh, that's crazy. That's a great story right there. So I actually went to go see my old teammates play Monroe High School.
Yeah.
You know, and at the moment I didn't know where to go. Like I had no offers, nothing. Like
You had just came back.
I just came back.
Right.
It was crazy. So after the game, I talked to my coach, Mike Turro. He's still there. He's been there for like I don't know how many
100 years. He's a legend.
Yeah, he's a legend.
He's a legend.
They named the field Mike Turro. You know that, right?
That's big time. That's big time.
So I went. You know, I went to see everybody. You know, see how everybody was doing. And after the game, he actually asked me, "Oh, are you playing baseball anymore?" Like, I want to, but I don't know where to go. Like, I have no school. Like, I have no offers. And Elio Ayala was there. So he put me to talk with Elio. He was like, "Oh, here's my number. I want you to try out. You know, I seen you play a year, 2015, because I didn't play 16. I see you play 2015. I think you have great stuff." So I actually came for a tryout, and I hit 88. You know, I was like, "Oh wow, like this is good, but it's not enough." 3 weeks later goes by, hit 91.
Oh, wow.
I was like, "Okay, we on something."
Yeah.
And 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that, I hit 94. I was like, oh, we on to something.
And this is the first time you're hitting these velocities?
Yeah, first time ever.
How'd that feel?
Great.
Good, man.
Good.
What was going through your mind when that happened? It's like, I'm a beast, yeah.
No.
Right? No?
I'm excited.
Excited.
You know, I was excited because I never flew that hard.
Right.
And I was hungry for more. I wanted to throw harder, so I could get noticed because, up here in Northeast, it's hard.
Right.
It's hard to get noticed, especially when you didn't play senior high school.
Yeah.
And you skip a year and then go to college.
Right. So you would say that knowing the right people and putting yourself out there, especially as an athlete, and creating, like all these tapes and going to like different showcases.
You gotta be in the right place at the right time.
That's true.
Honestly. Some people may call it luck, but
it's like a hit and miss. Basically.
Yeah, hit and miss.
Right.
So you get to Monroe, right? Fall season comes around. I know how crazy the fall gets. You guys had the series, man.
Yeah.
It gets crazy. I'm assuming you did pretty well because you stayed up with the varsity team. Obviously, it got going. What you were doing. I remember I was around. I'd go around. I wasn't a player anymore, but I'm one of those guys that always shows up. One of the returning players that's always around, checking the guys out, helping out. And I remember guys were telling me about you. They were like, "Yo, this guy's good. He's good." And I was like, "All right, we'll see." And the season came along, man, and you didn't feel to disappoint, man. You were good. How'd that feel? How'd that season feel? From a guy coming from.
I felt like everything was right. Honestly, it couldn't be any perfect.
Yeah.
That year went. That was my best year of baseball ever. I went 10-0.
10-0.
And you know what's crazy? What did you have fun doing?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Smart always.
Exactly. And you see, that's the problem with some athletes. I'm sorry that I have to say that they forget. I know it's a lot of work, mentality and working out and working out every day and working on your mechanics, but have fun.
You gotta have fun.
It's very important. Have passion because once you're having fun and once you find ways to have fun in the game, your passion is still there.
Coach Melendez always says that I'm an 11-year-old playing baseball.
And guess what? There are major league players that are still, they're still passionate about their game and
because
that's important.
you gotta love it. If you don't love it, so
if you don't love the game, then you have no reason to be in it. Like it shouldn't reward you back. Is what I say.
Of course, yeah.
So, what has baseball taught you in your life that carries on into different, aspects in your life?
Always be humble. Just humble, friendly. Always be available for somebody that needs it.
Right.
But,
So be a mentor.
Yeah, be a mentor. Yeah, he see me here the other day.
Yeah.
He see me the other day.
You help kids that are still like in your old schools.
No, yeah, kids from my old league team.
Yeah.
The coach, one of the guys, he told me, "Oh, come here, come show out for the kids." I was like, perfect.
And what's crazy? That I just realized that New York City, I would say we have the best coaches, and the reason why I say that it's not because of the Reigns or the name of the school is because a lot of players that used to play in college go back and teach the upcoming freshmen, the sophomores, or and they put you on to what they noticed after they left. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like they ask themselves, like I feel like people that leave college and they're not players anymore and don't make it. Like for example, me, I didn't have a career after college, and I always thought to myself, if I knew what I know now, what would I have done different? So what would you have done differently? What teaching these kids? What do you tell them? I have to ask you because you know.
Yeah. I'm in this business. I'm in the business of baseball instruction, of course, and I work with different ranges of kids, right? So I work with kids that just like the game, and they don't want to take it to. They play it for fun. They play because their close friends play it. So they're like, yeah, I like baseball, but I like lacrosse more.
Right.
Or I don't see myself, or I want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a professional baseball player, which is fine. And then I have my guys that come in and they're like, listen, this is what I want. But realistically, the mental approach to the game and understanding the game and making things simple.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, that's what I've been able to help a lot of guys out with because, growing up, I didn't have like an instructor.
Same.
Like I didn't have. Like, we hit with Yeoman.
Yeah.
Yeoman, shout out to my boy Yeoman, man. Yeoman helped us out a lot. Yeoman helped us out a lot. There was a couple guys, throughout our youth, throughout
same.
high school that helped us out a lot. All the
I would
college
even
coaches.
be with the guys because I didn't have a softball trainer.
Yeah.
And I feel like I probably could have hit the ball more if I
Yeah.
had a college softball coach
sure, yeah.
who knew her stuff. But all I knew was baseball.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
All right, guys. So on our 110% Instagram, we gave you guys the opportunity to ask Justo any questions. We're gonna pick out of the 96 questions we got. We're gonna pick 2. The first question is from MMOB_Ace.
That's my brother.
What?
That's a great name.
That's actually really ironic.
You didn't know
I only
that?
picked 2 and I had no idea. And listen to this question: how has your family influenced your career as a baseball player?
Boom! His brother wants to know the part that he
That he took.
Yeah.
That's what he took. He definitely played a big role in that, because growing up I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to play baseball. just
Yeah.
like him. Initially, he was the one that started playing baseball. My dad, he played baseball back then. My dad, he used to play softball, but he don't play anymore. But I always used to see him play, and I wanted to be just like him. I wanted to see how it felt. I wanted to compete.
That was your role model when you were younger.
Yeah. So I told my dad that I wanted to play for a team. So he actually did a team.
He made his own team.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so- I was like-
I used to play with the Raiders, and then my dad, he was the head coach.
Oh.
Yeah, so
So
I played with Ernie Ordonez. He was a personal trainer.
Pirates.
Carlos de la Cruz. He's actually in sprint training right now, playing big league games with the Phillies. And my boy Jason Pineda.
So his dad had all the prospects.
Basically, he's not all the
His dad had all the prospects.
When
He should be a scout. Your dad should be a scout.
Listen to how small this
Just saying.
baseball world thing is, though.
Yeah.
Carlos de la Cruz, right?
Yeah.
He's way younger than me. You guys are younger than I am.
Yeah.
How old are you? 20,
21.
I'm 26, so think about that.
Yeah.
Carlos's father trained me
Oh my God.
when I was like 10 for like 2 or 3 years. Great hitting instructor. Oh my God.
We're
He
followers.
was amazing.
Listen
He was
to this.
amazing. But that's crazy. My boy Carlito, man.
Carlito,
My
yeah.
boy Carlito is like 6'8", so he's
6'9", bro.
6'9".
Something like that.
Big boy.
What do they eat? Please, taking
I
notes.
don't know. But this is the second question I'm
What's the
gonna.
second question?
And this is from the _Ace13. The Ace13.
This is a picture.
I think he's a pitcher.
Possibly.
And the question is, what did you do to get to 90 plus? So 90 plus miles an
Work
hour.
hard.
That's an amazing
Work hard.
question.
Eat right, sleep right, and have a good trainer. Shout out Coach Manning.
What was your favorite workout to increase your speed? Like, what would you say is your favorite workout? Arm workout.
Arm workout.
Bands.
No, because
Long toss.
you got a long toss, but you also got to run. You got to do some sprints. You got to do some long distance.
If you're lazy.
A lot of people don't like running,
please.
so
I was a lazy athlete.
you
were a lazy athlete?
Yeah, I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have that coach. And that's a mistake I'm not going to do when I have kids. I'm going to make sure that they eat right, they sleep right, and they have, the right trainer and have the right mentality. It's very hard to find someone and, to support.
You got to be.
But your dad should be a scout. I mean, come
You
on.
got 4 prospects in one team.
Come on. You know how hard that is. That means he guided you guys the right way.
So, how was that transition from collegiate baseball to the professional level?
It was tough because in college, I felt like I could get away with some alright pitches. In professional level, you have to try at least to make your best pitch every single time. It's less margin for error, and you got to be on top of your game all times. And
How do you deal with that mentality though? How do you deal with that pressure from coaches that want you to perform 110%?
yeah, so it's just honestly just don't think about it. Just have fun. The game doesn't change.
Right.
It just gets faster, but it doesn't change.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
It just gets faster.
It just gets faster. It doesn't change.
Because you meet all types of hitters.
Yeah.
So it's important to have that mentality. But thank you for coming on the show and telling your story and showing the type of player that you are. Like, you're humble, you're hardworking, and you're proud of your past, and that's very important to just be you, you know? But I want to see what that curveball do, so we gonna go to the cage right now.
We gonna see what's up with this curve.
Yeah, we gonna see what's up with this curve, so.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. Don't ever let whether they like or not. It's easy to fail your craft. Never that. Whether that.